I'm London Reese, and I work at Vatican Studios in Lake Forest, California. I have to say my favorite style of tattooing is a mixture of illustrative tattooing, where it's hand-drawn, kind of created, you know, kind of an organic, real thing, with a mixture of a little bit of realism in there. So it's kind of a hybrid, really. I like when a client can come to me and ask for a portrait, and I feel comfortable doing it. And then I also like being able to custom design something for someone. You know, they have a really vague idea, and I can draw something either more traditional or more illustrative, more neo-traditional, even just cartoony or graphic. You know, I like being able to do a little bit of everything. I'd say my style is a hybrid of all styles. I like to bridge the gaps between different styles or individually separate them and be able to do one specific style for that piece. I just like to do it all, really. I guess with color or black and gray, I like both equally, and I like taking on new challenges with each one. I like bridging the gap between the two as much as possible, but really I like them all. I like tattooing in general, so black and gray and color. They're both totally different, and the execution for them is technically different for me, but I get the same fulfillment out of both. I like the challenge of changing it up all the time. Three all-time favorite tattoos. One of the coolest experiences I've had tattooing was on a gentleman from LA. He asked me to do his whole entire back piece, and he wanted this classic Annie Leibovitz photograph of John Lennon and Yoko Ono, where they're laying together, kind of embracing each other. And it just so happens to be a photograph that was taken the day he died, the day John Lennon was assassinated. And we did his entire back with this huge photo. And it's all color. It's kind of cool. It's fun to see like color realism at that scale. So you don't see it that large very often. One of my more recent favorite projects, I did Michelangelo's La Pieta, but I did kind of this cool hybrid image of it. I actually did it in Italy, in Florence, where Michelangelo grew up and learned how to become who he was. In the tattoo, I kind of put together a full scene. It wasn't just a statue. I just, like a close-up version of Mary's face, and she's looking down at a rose at the client's request. And I put her in this scene where she's kind of inside and engulfed by the archways of Santa Croce, where Michelangelo is buried. You get like the artist and then the artist's work, and then I was there when I did it. It was just this really cool special time where I got to like experience all these things in person and then make this tattoo for this kid. And it was just really cool. And in black and gray, it just looks classic and timeless. So pretty stoked on that one, and I felt really good about it. Third one, one of my more kind of recent tattoos that I did like a year or two ago. Just a nice portrait of Nikki Sixx, another rock and roll theme, which was cool. But this guy hit me up from Australia and said, "Hey, I want to get a tattoo by you." Nikki Sixx is like one of my idols, and I'm a big rock and roll fan, and I've had the privilege of coming to Hollywood and walking the same streets that, you know, Motley Crue did. And he's like, "I've looked up to these guys forever. I love their music. I'd love to get, you know, a tattoo of him in Hollywood." So I actually tattooed at Roman's Hollywood shop, did it there. So, you know, like this guy had this full experience of Hollywood, rock and roll, you know, Sunset Strip style. It was just pretty cool to be able to create that for him. And it was a really cool black and gray image just to begin with, so I was stoked on it. But I always like to look at something that's real, and then from that I can customize something, you know, whether it's I take a tracing of the real thing and then add to that, or if I just have something on a computer screen and then I can kind of look at my drawing board and kind of go back and forth and draw something based on that. But, you know, I'm pretty into looking for good reference. I'm not just, you know, basic Google searches. As often as I can, I'm looking for blogs and some artistic photography where, you know, somebody's doing something special, not just like a phone pic. When I do custom drawings, I try not to trace. I try and draw just freehand as much as possible, unless it needs to be super precise. But usually, yeah, I just draw from the reference I print out. The best way to get a hold of me is probably through my website. You can find me at theartoflondon.com, or find me on Instagram, just London Reese, or Facebook, London Reese. Just email me. That's the best way to do it. I'm Lennon Reese, and thanks for checking out my portfolio. I guess I don't really have a preference on color of black and gray. I really love both equally and totally for different reasons. Somebody's jamming. Don't even trip. Fuck.
No, color of black and gray.
It's all good.